Hi.
You know,
I don't want there to be any hard feelings between us DC tards. When you and Superman were getting your cheeks clapped by Daddy Goku, I didn't rig those charges. Your video. Your plan. Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? I'm a power scaler with a goth mommy fetish. I wouldn't know what to do if I got one. I just power scale. Look what I did to the DC Tard community with just a 14-minute video. You see, nobody panics when things go according to plan, even if the plan is horrifying. If tomorrow I told the press that, Superman would get clapped by Doomsday, or lose to Muhammad Ali in a boxing exhibition, nobody panics, because it's all part of the plan. But when I mention little old Goku, well, then everyone loses their minds. I gotta admit, some of the very well-worded and intelligent comments on my Goku vs. Superman Death Battle debunk video did not disappoint. Many of them lost the plot immediately, blinded by their rage over me not worshipping their vanilla-ass superhero. They missed the part where I was, debunking Death Battle. I was never trying to say how strong I think Superman is. That's what I'll do now. So, barring Death Battle's calculation for Superman's strength and speed, upon my assessment of such, does it swing the battle in Superman's favor? Nope. I think most people would agree with me that Cosmic Armor Superman is the strongest Superman out there. But I'm not going to limit Superman to just one version. If the strongest is one version and the fastest is a different version, we'll just combine it into a composite. As you'll see, it really doesn't make a difference. For strength and durability, we have Cosmic Armor Superman tanking, then overpowering Mandrak. Mandrak was the existence-threatening enemy empowered by the bleed of 52 living universes. The battle took place in Nil, which sits at the absolute edge of creation and does not operate in ordinary space or time. I think this is likely a high-end multiversal feat, based on Mandrak's power being fueled by 52 universes, making the generous assumption in Superman's favor that Mandrak had the full capacity of all 52 universes, even though that's never said in the comic. This would establish Superman as being powerful enough to bust 52 of his universes. Now, how big exactly is just one DC universe? Death Battle actually had a clever idea of figuring this out, but it turns out they're wrong. No surprise there. They correctly cited the scan that states the DC Universe's Big Bang expansion rate as 60 trillion light-years per half-second. Their crucial mistake in their calculation is their assumption that the Big Bang expansion rate is constant throughout the universe's entire history. They assumed an expansion rate of 60 trillion light-years per half-second for 15 billion years. There's two massive problems with this. First, it's never stated anywhere in any DC comic that the expansion rate is constant throughout its history. And second, in our real-life universe, we know that this is not how expansion works. The expansion rate at the Big Bang was extremely faster than it is today. So what I'm going to do is stay true to both the DC continuity and real-world physics, taking into account the difference between DC's Big Bang expansion phase and our Big Bang expansion phase, then assuming DC's universe follows similar fluctuations to ours with regard to speed of expansion throughout its history, we see that one universe in DC is approximately 104 undecillion times larger than our universe. Multiplying that by 52 for the Mandrak feat would put Cosmic Superman as being strong enough to bust 5.41 duodecillion universes. Now, it's worth pointing out that this calculation is 299 sextillion times weaker than Death Battle's calculation for Superman. Set aside the fact that my calculation is true to the continuity and to physics, this simply won't do. I'd just be the Goku fanboy if I pushed for Superman being weaker than Death Battle said. Isn't that right? So, Let's assume their fallacious calculation for the size of one DC universe is correct. Let's assume one DC universe is 1.62 vigintillion times larger than our universe. Assuming Superman could bust 52 of these universes, that gets him up to 8.42 quinvigintillion universes. But even that is still 21 million times weaker than end of Tournament of Power base Goku according to my previous video. And on top of that, y'all really are not ready for this. In my Dragon Ball Super power scale, I did the wrong conversion in my math on purpose so that Goku would end up being weaker for the final tally. I used galaxy busting to find Vegito's strength. Then I switched to universes for the rest of the scale. If I would have used galaxies for the entire power scale, the exponential nature of the Patara multiplier would have made Goku's final number astronomically higher. He could not put a single scratch on Goku's gi, let alone beat him in a fight. The numbers don't lie. Y'all could try to prove the numbers wrong, and to that, I wish you good luck. Speed really hasn't come up much for real. Death Battle said they're both immeasurable in speed. I happen to also think they're both immeasurable in speed, so really it does come down to who's more powerful. But quickly addressing speed, Superman is on panel stated to literally burst the bonds of infinity. Goku has done the same thing, flying from heaven to hell in a finite amount of time, even though both heaven and hell are universal bodies that are infinite in space and matter, not to mention they're hermetically sealed from one another, so like literally how is it possible he did this, but anyway. There's also the time when Kibito Kai used instant teleportation to save Goku from Kid Buu. We see him teleport. Then we see Goku outrun Buu's blast. Then we see him arrive and save Goku, necessitating that Goku was flying faster than linear time, literally immeasurable by the Buu saga, and he only gets billions of times faster from there. No matter how you slice it, there's nothing that gets Superman up to Goku's level. Having said that, I'd like to take the time now to respond to some of the actual good rebuttals in the comments of my previous video. JC on 913 says, "It really doesn't matter how high you scale Goku into multiversal when Superman has been scaling to infinite multiverses since pre-Crisis." So we have the classic infinite multiverses argument. You must have missed the times when I've pointed out that according to Daizenshu 4, page 72, Dragon Ball's Universe 7 is a 5D structure with at least 4 4D universal bodies, being the living world, demon realm, heaven, and hell, and there's actually more, but they aren't listed in the guidebook. All 4 of these bodies are infinite in their space and their matter, and the 5D structure as a whole operates on a form of meta-time, because time is linear or not based on which 4D body you're in, and as early as Battle of Gods, Goku could destroy this entire 5D structure with just punches. No Kamehameha, no Genki Dama, just punches. Whatever comic panel you want to bring up for Superman, I promise I'll either match it or beat it. Keep testing me though, it's fun. Now, I don't know how to say this name. NDVCT says, "Your logic for Goku winning is entirely just upscaling. You demand feats for Superman, but upscale Goku based on statements. Statements are not empirical, and winning a fight is not a measurement of power or any other state. It's conjecture and assumptions. Scaling with power levels is a literal joke." So I was not using power levels, I am using power scaling. Power levels are an in-universe plot device that ended at the Frieza saga. Power scaling is done by a community that covers far more series than just Dragon Ball. And we use power scaling for Superman too. Superman is scaled by statements and conjecture and assumptions, just like Goku is. If you think he lifted an infinite amount of weight when he lifted the Book of Infinite Pages, you have to make the assumption that Limbo operates by regular laws of density and gravity. If you think he can bust 52 universes based on the Mandrake feat, we never see 52 universes literally get destroyed on panel. Like, literally think for 2 seconds about the argument you just made. The only way you could accept him being able to bust 52 universes is based on the statement made about Mandrake. Super Skylar 2, he says, "Superman held up creation and destroyed World Forger multiverse, and survived the void where all and any stories come to an end. Superman literally fights a prime, who literally can shatter universes casually, and Superman casually survives those same punches. So we have a slurry of nonsense here. First, Superman lifting the heavens. Lifting strength does not linearly scale to punching strength. I spent ample time explaining this in my previous video. Even if we grant that Superman can lift and fly on an infinite scale, he could still be at a finite level in punching and combat speed. It's a non sequitur to conflate all four of those. On top of that, I'm skeptical of the literalism of Superman lifting infinite weight, because Atlas tells him to lift with his heart, not his hands. To me, that seems to indicate some kind of allegorical event. Moreover, Superman was hyper-amped by sun dipping in suns that Batman lines up in a row for him. On top of that, he only sucker punched World Forger. He did not destroy him. On top of that, he was amped for years by Mr. Mixie with magic 5D energy. Superman didn't do shit on his own in the World Forger feat. Furthermore, Goku's been on a casual multiversal level for years now too. Why does it matter if Superman has done the same on a lesser scale? And last, he mentioned surviving the void where all stories come to an end. I'm assuming he's talking about the Hyper Time event. If so, Superman didn't do anything here. He got transported there. He did not lift or destroy or overpower the structure in any way. Then subsequently he was returned to his reality. He literally did nothing. This would be like arguing that he lifted Hilbert's hotel just because he walked out of the door. I think that just about covers everything. Next video, I'm thinking about giving the real Dragon Ball superpower scale based on the correct conversion. Neener, DC tards!